Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now March 23rd of 2022, and ever since the very end of the Book of Boba Fett and of course The Mandalorian Season 2, a lot of Star Wars fans have really been looking forward to new Star Wars projects out there, such as the Ahsoka Tano series and the long-awaited Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show, which is all set and ready to debut on May 25th. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, if you would like to go ahead and drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, everything related to the new Disney canon between George, John, and Dave is that they are treating it very much in a special way by combining it with both Legends and the Disney canon to really give fans a balanced version in order to really cater to all types of Star Wars fans. Whether you're a new fan, a casual, or hardcore fan, John, George, and Dave really want to make sure that what they're about to do with the overall Star Wars universe is that they really are going to be treating all the fans equally. So everything related to all of the new shows coming for the Mandoverse, we have shows such as The Mandalorian Season 3 and 4 that are going to be worked on back to back. In fact, they're already beginning to work on pre-production for the 4th season of The Mandalorian, which brings us to the subject today that involves, of course, many of the fan favorite characters. Now, one thing is for certain is that we already know that everything related to Disney CEO Bob Chapek is that he is allowing all of this to happen. He is making sure that John and Dave are going to do everything in their power to really turn things around for the franchise, to really make sure that Star Wars can really thrive and survive and become better than ever before. That's the overall end game right now, is that they really want to make sure that this version of the universe is going to be larger and bigger than Star Wars Legends. That's what they're really aiming to do, and that's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of dedication on George, John, and Dave's part. However, with that being said, with of course Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars TV shows, creators John and Dave Filoni are beginning to work on the Ahsoka Tano series and Mando Season 4. However, it's described that Disney and Lucasfilm have a huge plan for the 4th season of Mando currently that is set to do something that fans have been asking for since 2014. Now further, it's actually described that both John and Dave already have an entire scene mapped out for the 4th season that will feature the return of both Luke, Han, and Leia in the Mandoverse. Now to finally, of course, engage in an official reunion scene. On top of that, it's described that John has already been in the talks with Harrison Ford on returning for the role of Han Solo, and using this revolutionary de-aging technology on him to portray a post-return of the Jedi version of Han Solo. Now, the entire scene is already storyboarded and finalized for the script of the season. The scene is set to take place in front of Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple, where the Millennium Falcon can be seen in the distance, where both Luke, Han, and Leia are said to be hugging it out in this special moment, where a child, of course, with long black hair can be seen in the distance, wearing Jedi-like attire. Now, this is likely to be Ben Solo and the moment in which Han and Leia drop their son off to Luke to begin his Jedi training. They are planning to use the same technique as they did in Rogue One to also bring back Leia Organa in this actual sequence, and that Billie Lourd, Carrie Fisher's daughter, actually gave Lucasfilm permission to move forward with this overall plan. Now let me just stop right here for 1 second. Now, the thing about the reunion scene between Han, Leia, and Luke is that this has been something that the fans always wanted to really see in the sequel trilogy movies. Now, we only got their reunion partially, alright? We got the force projection of Luke talking to Leia in, of course, The Last Jedi. That was something that fans viewed as a little inauthentic there. It didn't really make much sense to them, and I understand that. You know, what they really should have done at the first place in the very beginning with Episode 7 was to have Luke, Han, and Leia have a nice reunion scene. It's something, by the way, that Mark Hamill was begging J.J. Abrams to do, and J.J. Abrams just wanted nothing to do with that. He absolutely refused Mark Hamill's vision and or his advice on that, and wanted nothing to do with that. Overall, I think that at the very minimum, you know, what they could have done, and what they actually had planned to do with Episode 9, is that they wanted to create a flashback scene. This was all partially done, that never made it to the final cut. We talked about this 2.5 years ago. They were actually on their way to making this into a reality. It didn't work out because Kathleen Kennedy ended up not approving it, and it just turned into a big problem for that movie. Now, moving on from all of this, alright, Now, the scene is described to take place toward the end of Mando Season 4, and will also feature a revised version of Han and Leia's theme by John Williams mixed together, with a new theme for Luke Skywalker that will be very touching to the overall fans. Now, another portion of the scene is said to actually escalate to a point in time where Luke Skywalker watches both Han and Leia boarding the Millennium Falcon, where they wave their goodbyes to Luke as the Falcon begins to take off, which of course leads everyone to believe that Chewbacca is piloting the ship. However, Chewbacca is so far not planned for an actual appearance in this specific scene. Now, the Falcon is described to take off into the atmosphere of Luke's world, to where Luke, of course, is going to be placed in another portion of the scene that is also storyboarded and involves Luke Skywalker turning around and watching a young kid with black hair, again, very likely to be Ben Solo, as he is planned to already appear in Mando Season 4, is levitating a series of rocks while sitting down on a large boulder in front of Luke's Jedi Temple. Now, this is where Luke begins to walk over to the kid, where Luke raises his hand as it cuts off to the scene. The big plan by John and Dave is to also make this a very lengthy reunion scene, that this so far is not the only portion of what is set to happen in the sequence from Mando Season 4. Here, Luke's temple appears to be near complete, with the main hut finished and surrounding mini huts under current construction. So, here's another thing that I think a lot of fans need to be very well aware of, is the fact that John and Dave even mentioned this before in the past, that they would love to have done a reunion scene at some point in time in the overall Mandoverse. That's the overall, thing that they have always wanted to touch on, something that they always wanted to do, and now it's being made into a reality for Mandalorian Season 4, which is still on track to release in holiday of 2023. It's still a little ways off, to be honest. We got quite a long time until that even drops, but everything related to this just screams, Star Wars Legends inspiration. It's kind of reminding me of what they did in Legends between Luke, Han, Leia, and Jason Solo. And there's a lot of things being inspired from that. Now, of course, I know a lot of fans would love to see Ben Solo completely rewritten and taken out of the canon and replace it with Jason Solo. That's not going to happen. They're not going to do something that drastic of a retcon, per se. But when you look at everything related to what they're trying to achieve now, with Luke's Jedi Temple being built more and more with each and every Star Wars TV show, and showing us the evolution of that, as Jon Favreau talked about this, I think that fact that they're really trying to incorporate Legends with the already existing Disney canon in a balanced way is a smart move. But I understand that there's a lot of Legends fans out there that really want it to be 100% accurate, to the point where there's no Ben Solo, there's no this or that. There's a lot of fans out there that would like it that way instead. And they gotta work with what exists, right? With the sequels and with everything that actually exists in a more significant matter. You can't really just erase somebody out of the equation like Ben Solo. You can't just do that. But when you look at everything related to this is a very smart move by John and Dave to actually have a reunion in The Mandalorian Season 4, which, by the way, is still intended to be the 4th and final season of the series. So, overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No, I'm not the one from night to moon.